This week on UB Basketball Insider, the men's and women's teams avenge early season losses. Paul Peck sits down with Nate Oates and Felicia Legette-Jack to talk about their big wins this week. You'll meet the senior center that's becoming a dominant presence in the paint, plus a double dose of top 5 plays. UB Basketball Insider tips off right now.
You will take it!
We didn't give up, we kept fighting.
Every single possession!
We just got to figure out a way to win a game.
Basketball fans on your feet. Here come your Bulls.
Stolen by Massenberg, dunked with the right hand. Flashy no-look pass over to Summer Hemphill. Wilkins three, good. McRae the follow dunk. Sensational move from the freshman.
And we get started with UB Basketball Insider by welcoming in Bulls men's basketball coach Nate Oates to talk about a big win earlier in the week against Kent State. You've got a game on the road coming up Tuesday against Miami. But let's look back to a really fun night here at Alumni Arena, Nate, the 84-72 win over Kent State. There was a lot hanging over that game. You'd lost 3 in a row to them. They had beaten you earlier in the year. Fans will remember they ended your season in the MAC tournament last year. Does any of that play into the results that we saw in the game, or did it motivate your guys for the game on Tuesday?
I mean, I don't know if it did or not, to be honest with you. We didn't talk much about any of that stuff. We just talked about what we had to fix after the Northern game and really what we had to fix after the first loss to them. So, and we were coming off a loss to Northern and a loss to Kent State the time when we played them. So we had plenty to fix going into that game. We felt like we fixed a lot of it. We still got some room to improve, obviously. We will until the end of the year. Still be trying to improve stuff, but we got better at a lot of stuff we need to get fixed. So,
it was another example of what has been one of the keys for your team all year long, which is the ability for any of 4, 5, 6 guys to step up and be the main offensive threat. In the case of the game against Kent State, it was Jeremy Harris, a career-high 24 points as he continues this red-hot streak. What has Jeremy done to elevate his game to now become the guy that most teams go into your games saying, we have to stop that guy?
Yeah, I think he's just got comfortable in the offense and takes what's given to him. He doesn't try to, force stuff and take tough shots. He just kind of lets it flow. And then when you got Nick and CJ and Wes out there with him, you can't really load up too heavy on him because any of those other, they've all gone for mid-20s, high 20s, 30s, before in their careers. So we've got good options out there, and then he's one of the 4, and he's got it rolling right now.
As people are focused on Jeremy Harris, Wes Clark has taken advantage, particularly seeing those opportunities to drive to the basket, shoot the mid-range jump shots. He had 19 points in the game. He has sort of found where he fits in with everybody, has he not?
Yeah, I think so. He's playing some off the ball, some on the ball. When he plays off the ball, we still get him involved in a lot of ball screens. He's getting a little more comfortable. I think that shoulder injury set him back like about a month. He played pretty well those first 2 games out for not having played in almost 2 years, and then he's just made him scared to go in the paint. You get bumped, and it's still not 100%. So, but I think it's good enough now. He's back where he's aggressive, getting to the rim, and when he can get to the rim, then they don't want to let him get to the rim. Then he can get to that pull-up game, and he's kind of got all 3 levels going once he can get there.
What's going on with C.J. Massenberg has been very interesting over the last couple of games. He has not scored the same way that we are used to seeing him score, but he's compensated for that by doing a lot of other things. In the Kent State game, 9 rebounds, 7 assists to go along with 8 points. How much is that the sign of a good, maturing veteran player who says, hey, maybe my shot's not falling right now, but I'm going to do all these other things I need to do?
Yeah, I would have gave him the MVP of that Kent State game with the job he did on Jalen Walker. And he almost had the triple-double. If the horn hadn't blown, he would have got the 10 points. He scored on that underneath at a bounce play. But so he's not worried about the points. He was really super locked into the defensive side of it. Told me he was going to be our best defensive player the day before. He got back to it, proved it. He's been rebounding all year. So the scoring will come. Shoot, he might drop 25, 30 any given night. He can get it cooking. So I'm not worried about that. And he's not a selfish kid to where he's going to start pressing either like that.
Quick thought about your next game on the road against the Miami Redhawks, team you've already beaten earlier in January.
Yeah, they're good. They're maybe the most improved team in the league from last year. And, Coach Owens has them playing hard, playing really good defense. They've got skilled offensive players. So it's going to be a tough game down there. I think not all the games that are left. We've got 2 road games left, them and Bowling Green, but that's, they're both, neither one of them are going to be easy. So we got to take care of business. We got to guarding, rebounding, travel. So our defense and rebounding have to be there. And if it is, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, it's the chase to become the top seed in the Mid-American Conference. It's Nate's Bulls and it's Toledo. It's likely going to be one of those 2 teams, and it will be decided down the stretch. We're not done talking about the big win over Kent State. Let's take a look back at our top 5 plays.
It's time now for the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by ECMC, the difference between healthcare and true care. Number 5.
Measured up by Perkins. De La Rosa, former St. John's recruit, whips it cross court and it's stolen by Massenberg. Here comes CJ. UB has numbers. Right corner, Clark elevates for a 3-pointer. Good.
Nice defense by CJ Massenberg, reading De La Rosa's eyes with the steal. Finds Clark for the open 3. Bulls with the 3-point lead.
Number 4.
Walker left of the circle, lobs it over, shooting De La Rosa, who had slipped. Another Kent State turnover. Harris the steal. Jeremy zips a no-look pass to Perkins for the layup. What a pass from Jeremy.
De La Rosa was late coming down court. He was a little injured, hobbled a little bit. Bulls recognized that. Perkins underneath for the easy 2.
What a beautiful pass from Jeremy Harris, who's averaging about 2.5 assists a game.
Number 3.
I wonder if they would go into Perkins and try and get that 4th foul on De La Rosa.
Clark goes to Perkins, center of the lane. He bounces to McCray, who patiently goes up and slams it through with 2 hands.
They did go right inside, and you saw De La Rosa just had to fend off there. He couldn't defend it.
Number 2.
Dribbles into the center of the lane, tries a fade away from 12, an air ball. De La Rosa saves it. Harris grabs it near midcourt. He has Zabo to beat. Jeremy is fouled by Zabo. The layup will go. They're going to count the basket, and now Harris will go to the line trying for a 3-point play.
It's a nice heads-up play, defensive play by Jeremy Harris.
Free throw on the way, and good.
Number 1.
Left corner comes to Zabo. Zabo drives, smart, knocked it away from him. Buffalo with it. Carruthers to Massenberg. CJ floats it for Harris, who slams it down with 2 hands.
What a great transition. Massenberg for the alley-oop dunk.
Coming up, Coach Jack recaps her squad's big win over top-seeded Central Michigan. UB Basketball Insider returns right after this. Buffalo sports fans, it's double the fun at Alumni Arena on Saturday, February 24th, as both the women and men's basketball teams are set to take on MAC rival Ohio University, presented by UBMD Pediatrics. Be sure to get your tickets and join in on the excitement as this historic regular season winds down. It all gets started at 1 p.m. One ticket gets you into both games. To order, call 877-UB-THERE or visit UBBulls.com.
Welcome back to UB Basketball Insider. This segment is presented by CEFQ, changing lives every day.
Welcome back to the UB Basketball Insider Show, and we welcome in the toast of Alumni Arena. Don't tell Nate Oates I said that,
Never.
Felicia, but the toast of Alumni Arena after one of the most amazing games that anybody around here has seen. Felicia Leggett-Jack to talk a little bit about what's going on with the women's basketball team, especially today's game. Let's start there, Felicia, trying to keep the momentum rolling from Central Michigan. You have the Akron Zips in town today for a 1 o'clock tip-off.
Tough team, unassuming team. They are a great, prolific offensive team. They can give you 90 points very quickly. And so our goal is to make certain that we minimize their scoring punch because they can put it up.
Yeah, this is the rematch of the very first MAC game of the year when you beat Akron at the end of January, at the beginning of January, end of December, 89-66. Speaking of rematches, let's talk about the one that everybody is still buzzing about around here at Alumni Arena. The amazing 85-82 win over Central Michigan on Wednesday night. Has it sunk in a little bit for you, the way your team played, how significant the win was, and just how much of a great basketball game it was?
Central Michigan is a fantastic team. I think Sue Quavera does a tremendous job with her team. Them coming in our home at 12-0, them being a top 30 RPI team, them beating us at their place by 7. All of that played its role in our focus. And if you look at what they can do, you can get overwhelmed. And so we decided that we were just going to lock into who we are and try to do what we do and understand that we have some great players. And that great player in each of us has to show up. And we have to be perfect in order to beat a team like that. And I think that we were really good defensively.
You and your coaching staff have played a big part in helping your team be in position to win the game. I want you to take everybody a little inside the mind of a coach. There were some things that happened in the previous matchup 2 weeks earlier that winds up being a close loss for your team, but there were things that you saw in that game that you thought you could then capitalize in this game. Tell everybody how that works for you.
We needed Cassie to play better, and we needed her to not be so stressed about her game. And so with her having to guard arguably one of the best players in the conference more, that put a little pressure on her. And Coach Sharkey shared with me that, Coach, we might need to switch the defense up a little bit. And, if we go player to player, put Summer on her and free Cassie up a little bit. Well, that became the biggest thing that we could have done because Cassie goes for 24 and 13, and Summer does an exemplary job on their big kid Moore. And, of course, Stephanie does what Stephanie do. She minimized one of the best guards in the conference to 1 point in the second half defensively. So we locked into some real key pieces. And, as a head coach, you don't have all the answers. That's why you hire great assistants, and they came through.
You also pressured them a little more than you generally do on a game-by-game basis, and that seemed to throw Central Michigan, and particularly their outstanding guard, Presley Hudson, a little bit off of her game.
Well, we are in better shape now. I would love to press, but the team wants to press now, and we've done it in the last 3 games, and we're tinkering with different defenses as we go into postseason. You can't always do what you always done because you're going to get always what you always got. And so we're doing some things in the closed room of what kind of defense can we try? A 1-2-1-1, full court. Can we go 2-2-1? Can we go a 1-3-1? We're playing with a lot of different defenses in practice, and we haven't brought them out, but we're slowly bringing them out.
Well, can't wait to see what Coach and her staff have got ready for today's game, a 1 o'clock tip-off against the Akron Zips. Make sure you're here to see it as well, too. Your team, by nature of the win over Central Michigan, now up to 15th in the RPI rankings. And for those people that might not understand that, it's a kind of a mathematical computation of who you've played, who you've beaten, who they've beaten, strength of schedule. That's pretty amazing for a Mid-American Conference team, certainly amazing for your team as well, too. When you see that, what's your reaction? And have you gotten a little feedback from some of your colleagues around the country about that?
I get everything from Louie. Louie always tells me what's going on with all that stuff, and when we just lock into what we can do, we just got to continue to make our Bulls Nation proud. We're going to continue to grow this women's basketball program, and we really want to make this academically, we're a destination. Why not be athletically a destination too? We're just trying to do our small part, and we got a lot more basketball to play, and I want to keep focused on that.
Yeah, a lot more basketball to play, including today, a chance for Felicia's team to clinch the MAC East title against Akron, a 1 o'clock tip-off right here at Alumni Arena. Have fun today. I know you will. Thanks for the time.
God bless, and go Bulls.
Coming up, Cassie Ausler is a local kid that has become one of the best bigs in the MAC. You'll meet the senior center when UB Basketball Insider returns.
Welcome back to UB Basketball Insider. This segment is presented by Town BMW, the official auto partner of UB Athletics.
The UB Basketball Insider Show. My name is Paul Peck, just outside the locker rooms here at Alumni Arena. The hottest player for the UB women's basketball team is senior Cassie Ausler. Double figures in points and rebounds in each of the last 3 games. The senior from right here in Western New York is hitting her peak at just the right time.
Hi, I'm Cassie Ausler. I'm a senior center for the women's basketball team.
Reed now gets the ball from Dillard, gives it right back to Dillard. Dillard takes a three-pointer with a defender right in her face, no good, but Ausler draws the offensive rebound and goes off glass and in. Count the foul and the bucket. She's gonna head to the free throw line for a 3-point play.
It's really just been quite the experience. Being that I'm a 5th year now, I just feel a lot more poised and a lot more calm, and I take coaching a lot better. I just really think this extra year has given me that extra confidence and extra push to be great. The last 3 years that I've been able to play under Coach Jack has just grown me as a player an insurmountable amount. Coach Jack as a coach, she really wants you to develop into a grown woman and who can make decisions for themselves. Having her really push for us to be great and have a voice and share our opinions without feeling like we can't because we're women, it's just an amazing thing. And she really makes you think before you act. And Coach Jack has taught me so much about womanhood and having a voice, and that's just really something that I was never comfortable with. Just never really was good at sharing how I feel, and she's really pushed for that. She's grown me into an adult, and I feel like I can successfully move on in the world from a lot of her leadership and from all that she's taught me, so it's really great.
And again, not a whole lot of meaningful motion as there's Dillard again, steps in front of that one. Let's see what she's got in store. Right side of the wing, gives it up to Ausler. Ausler off glass and in, count the bucket and the foul. She's gonna head back to the free throw line for the old-fashioned three-point play.
We're gonna be playing a fast game this year. We're trying not to run as many sets. We're trying to just play basketball. We play really well when we're just freelancing, playing our game. We're really looking to score as quick as possible. So pushing it up the floor, trying to score if there's nothing, setting up, and then going from there.
Here comes the Bulls as Stephanie Reed puts it up to Ausler, and Ausler goes off glass and in.
I think it's just gonna be a high intensity, high speed game. It's gonna be really exciting to watch. So last year, we didn't even get to go to postseason, so that was crazy for us because we had our best season yet here. We just didn't get respected by people who had to make decisions. Now we have to decide for ourselves that we're gonna win the MAC championship and we're gonna have postseason regardless, because if you win, you move on. I think just working together as a team, I really think we're gonna go for a long push this season and hopefully go deep into postseason.
Beyond just this season, Felicia, I think watching the career evolution of Cassie Ausler has been very interesting in how her game has changed and how she's changed as a person.
The sweetest person you ever want to meet. She's going to own a daycare. She's going to have 5 children. She is just in love with little people. And it got to a point early on in her career, that's how she played, like a little person. And we've just been trying to get her shoulders back, actually taped her back so she can pull her shoulders back so she can stand taller. I even told her that she needs to start wearing high heels because I wanted her to be really confident and proud of her height now. And now she's starting to play like the big post player I know that she can play like, and I'm just smitten by her.
In the first game against Central Michigan, she had one of the worst games in her career, just 1 for 12 shooting. And you worry how a player would react to that. Since then, she is averaging almost 18 points a game and 12 rebounds, a double-double in 3 straight games. Clearly, she has responded the way you wanted to. What went into that?
Well, it's just her confidence starting to emerge. She's starting to believe in herself. And I tell you what, when somebody get that little thing called belief inside their own body, it's a mountain removed. And I think, for young women in particular, they don't have confidence, and we instill it every day. We try to Pavlov's dog it, I believe in you, you believe in you, I believe in you, believe in you. And now it's to a point where she is believing and her teammates believing, and we're doing a lot of things in the locker room that helps her on the court. She's always had a talent. I'm not doing anything as a coach. Her belief now is connected with what we're doing, and she's just emerging to the player that she's supposed to be. There's a lot more for Cassie in the next 10 games, hopefully, that we play, but right now, we're happy, but just not satisfied.
All right, we'll come out and see what's next for Cassie Ausler today when Felicia's UB women's basketball team hosts Akron right here at Alumni Arena. Tip-off is 1 o'clock.
Coming up, we've got the top 5 plays from UB Women's huge win over Central Michigan. UB Basketball Insider will be right back.
For nearly 100 years, ECMC has brought hope and healing to Western New York. I'm living proof, and I couldn't be more grateful. Like cancer, we all hope trauma will never happen to us. But when it does, we can rely on ECMC to always be there. I hope you join me to be there for them and help them build their new state-of-the-art trauma center and emergency department. Visit supportecmctrauma.org to help learn how you can support life-saving care.
This is UB Basketball Insider, presented by ECMC, the difference between healthcare and true care.
Welcome back to the UB Basketball Insider Show from just outside the locker rooms here at Alumni Arena. My name is Paul Peck. We hope you were here on Wednesday night to see the women's team defeat Central Michigan. It was one of the best basketball games ever played here in Alumni Arena, which means we had a lot of work to do to pare it down to just our top 5 plays.
It's time now for the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by ECMC. The difference between healthcare and true care. Number 5.
It's tied back up, 34-34 here. Cassie Ausler has it on the right elbow, tries to kick it over to Jones, does. Jones is 1 for 1, looking to make it 2 for 2, you betcha. 37-34 Bulls lead. Jones now 2 for 2 from deep.
Number 4.
Dillard gets a screen from Hemphill, looking to create now, leaves it back over to Hemphill. Hemphill from the foul line puts the shot up off the back of the iron, no good, but Stephanie Reed slides in, gets the offensive rebound and one. Stephanie Reed is fired up right now as she is screaming and fist pumping. The whole Buffalo Bulls bench is up, the crowd is up.
Number 3.
Right into the hands of Stephanie Reed. Here comes Buffalo in transition. Reed gets it over to Dillard. Dillard's gonna step into a 3 and drills it. Sierra Dillard looking over to the crowd and holding up the 3. That is a huge bucket as the Buffalo Bulls now on top by 3. 75-72 with 3:47 left.
Number 2.
Under a minute to go, 2-point game here. Can you ask for anything better now as Dillard gets a little bit of breathing room, tosses it into Hemphill, an alley-oop style layup by Hemphill is in. Timeout by head coach Felicia Legette-Jack as the Bulls back on top by 4 with 50 seconds left. What a look from Sierra Dillard and what an athletic play from Summer Hemphill.
Number 1.
I'd say an 8 seconds, 9-second difference between the shot and game clock right now. They just need one more stop as Reed knifes her way through. No look, layup and in! 81-77 lead by the Bulls. Stephanie Reed with a top 10-like play as she penetrates down the right side, Euro steps to her left, and with her back to the basket, lays it off glass and in as she just comes away from that basket with a smile on her face. My goodness, Stephanie Reed.
Well, we hope to see you here at Alumni Arena later today. It's a 1 o'clock tip-off as the women's team continues to try to stay undefeated at home. They take on the Akron Zips. They're playing great basketball. You need to come out here and see it for yourself. If not, we'll have all the latest for you on next week's edition of the UB Basketball Insider.